All right, listen up. All right, we just did step one. We figured out how many calories per day. I'm just gonna stick with the same guy, weighing 180 pounds, and let's say he's trying to gain, and let's say he's on a 3,000 calorie a week. That's essentially what I'm going for here. I'm gonna lay all this out, really simple. All right, here we go. All right, so this guy's 180 pounds, takes in 3,000 calories, starting on Monday, let's say. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, eats 3,000 calories. However, where do those calories come from? And that's where these guys come in, these three. Called your macros, macros. I think it might be Greek. So protein times 4, fats times 9, carbs times 4. Basically what that means is that for every gram of protein, you're getting 4 calories. For every gram of fat, you're getting 9 calories. For every gram of carbs, you're getting 4 calories. Keep that in mind, 4, 9, and 4. So the first thing we got to figure out is the most important macronutrient for bulking, cutting, or remaining where you are is protein. This right here is a very, very common rule of thumb, is to take your body weight, essentially, you just multiply it by a number. At least multiply it by, a number between 1 and 1.5. So at the minimum, and I probably would go higher than this, which I showed on here, but the minimum is eating your body weight in grams of protein. So this guy, 180 pounds, should at least be eating 180 grams of protein per day. However, he's trying to gain muscle. He's not trying to, just make some wimpy results. He's trying to get some good results. He's trying to build some muscle. So let's say he multiplies his body weight by 1.5. It's not that outrageous. 1.5 times your body weight, it's not like, this isn't a big deal here. It's just 270 for this guy in particular. So 270, that number in red, is how many grams of protein he's going to eat in a single day. And to figure out how many calories that is, because every gram of protein has 4 calories, you multiply it by 4, so 1080. 1080 is coming out of the 3,000. 1080 is coming from protein. All right, so there we go. You just figured out protein. That's 1 of 3 done. The second two, I have this line in the middle here. The second 2 macronutrients, fats and carbs, there's a lot of controversy over how much of each of these to eat. There's not much controversy over how much protein to eat. The pound per body weight, a gram per pound of body weight is anywhere between 1 and 1.5 times your body weight. That's pretty standard. You're not going to find much controversy around that. However, with fats and carbs, everyone's like, yo, low carbs, high fats. Nah, high fats, low carbs. Like, high carbs, low fats, all this stuff. No, you don't need to eat carbs. There's a ton of stuff out there. I'm going to give you 2, not really extremes, but 2 very different approaches. And you just got to figure out and tweak them and adjust them to which one fits your body. Again, this is not a one-size-fits-all type of thing we're doing. I'm not saying this is going to work for you. I'm not even saying this works for me. I'm not even saying this works for this 180-pound guy. I'm just saying that if you start here and you watch how your body reacts, you'll be able to adjust and use your body's reaction to certain diets to determine what works best for you, building muscle, gaining muscle, or maintaining, whatever your goal is. So here we go. This is pretty much like method number 1 over here, method number 2 over here. So I'm going to start with this one. Fats. So what you can do is a good, healthy amount of fats per day is probably between 20 and 30% of your daily calorie needs. So, let's say this guy likes, he likes having his peanut butter and his almonds and his salmon, whatever. So let's say he wants to intake 30% of his daily calories from fat. So you do 30% of 3,000, which is 900. That means 900 calories are coming from fat. And so how many grams is that? Well, you divide by 9, and you get 100 grams is coming from fat. So there you go. 2 done. 270 from protein, 100 from fat. However, we still have some leftover calories we got to fill. We got to fill the leftover space, and that's what you devote to carbs. So what you do is you add 1080 from the protein, 900 from the fats, add that up, subtract that from 3,000, and you're going to get 1020. You have 1,020 calories left over in the day, and you devote this to carbohydrates. So you take 1020, divide it by 4, and you get 255. So there you go. Method 1 is done. 270 grams of protein, 100 grams of fat, and 255 grams of carbs. Method number 2 utilizes a lower carb amount and a higher fat amount as compared to method number 1. You see 255 for the carbs. Over here, you're only at 100. However, the fat content is higher. So method number 2, so over here we did the protein first. The protein standard doesn't change between either of these methods. But this method number 1, you figured out the fats next and then left the remainder for carbs. For this one, you're figuring out, we just did the protein. Now you're going to figure out the carbs first and kind of leave the remainder for fats. So what you can do to figure out the carbs for this lower carb type method, take your body weight and divide it by 2. So let's say, for easy numbers, I just used 100. Obviously 100 isn't half of 180, but instead of using 90, I used 100. You multiply that by 4 because it's 4 calories per gram of carb, and you get 400 calories are coming from carbs. And now you have a remainder that you got to fill in. So you add up the 1080 from the proteins, 400 from the carbs, and you get 1480. Subtract that from 3000, and you get 1520. So 1520 calories is coming from fats. Divide that by 9, and you get 168. So there you go. Method 2 is done. 270 grams of protein, 168 grams of fat, 100 grams of carbs. The main message I want to talk about here is that whichever one of these you pick, whichever side, I'm not saying you got to pick exactly 30%. You got to exactly, divide by 2 or whatever. I'm just saying these are like 2 very different approaches that you can use and tweak and change. Here, let me just talk to you face to face, or face to camera to computer screen to face. So method number 1, the perspective that you need to, or like the lens you need to look at method number 1 through is the fact that, what is like the one word you associate with carbs? Energy. So 255 grams of carbs is giving you 1,020 calories. That's a lot. Looking over at method number 2, 100 is only giving you 100 grams of carbs is only giving you 400 calories. That's, it's less than half. 255 grams, 100 grams, it's very different. The lens for method number 1 is carbs give me energy. I need to eat carbs in order to gain that energy. I already have a high amount of protein, 1.5 times my body weight. I have a healthy, good amount of fats, 30% of my calories, and I'm going to leave the rest, because I need to fill a certain calorie quota, I'm going to leave the rest to carbs, which will supply me good energy. That's method number 1. Method number 2, the lens you got to look at for method number 2 is, 1, your body produces carbohydrates automatically, which it does. Like it produces creatine. It produces it by itself. Technically, you don't need carbohydrates. However, I would not, recommend trying to eat 0 carbs every single day. I don't even know if that'd be hard too. Try to fill your day with foods that don't have any carbohydrates. It's pretty tough. But realistically, you're not going to eat 0 carbs. But basically, you want to have some carbohydrates in there. You don't want to eliminate carbs. That's why you just pick a number half your body weight, and it's not going to leave you with that much. It's only going to leave you with, for this guy, it would technically be 90. I just used 100. But the idea is that the fats are higher. And the reason why the lens you got to look at method number 2, different from method number 1, is method number 2 is the reason why you are bulking. Essentially, the whole point of a bulk is to cut. That's the whole point of it. Or why else would you be bulking? Unless you're just trying to get massive and have no definition and then just eat and eat and eat and eat and eat for the rest of your life. Usually people that are bulking are going to follow that up with a cut. Usually. Not always, but usually. So, looking at method number 2, this perspective you got to have is, okay, my carbs are already low. So when I go to a cut, let's say you want to cut and you want to cut your carbs down. You want to bring your calories down. Let's say you cut your carbs down, 50 grams a day, 60 grams a day of carbs. Going from 100 grams of carbs a day to 60 isn't that bad. It's only, a 40-gram difference that you're going to have to accustom your body, get your body used to doing. Over here with the 255 grams of carbs a day, that's a big, it's a pretty big jump from 255 to 60. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying, mentally, thinking about this mentally and realistically, honestly, what will be harder to go from 100 to 60, 255 to 60?
I think going from 100 to 60 would be a little easier. Also, with the high fat content, you're telling your body essentially to use fat as energy. You're getting your body accustomed to using fats as energy instead of using carbs as energy. So when you do cut, your body's going to already be used to using fats as energy, burning fats as energy. And when you start bringing your calories to a deficit when you cut, it's going to take the fat off your stomach, off your chest, off your your thighs. And it's going to use the fat off your body for energy because it's so used to using fat for energy because you've kept your carbs so low. So, those are two pretty different methods. Try one out, depending on your body type, depending on your build, genetics, metabolism. One of these is going to work well for you. One of them might not be. Maybe somewhere in the middle works well for you. Again, this isn't just a formula you apply and magic. There's your results. Plan ahead. Set your goals. Figure out how many calories you need per day, which we did in the step 1 video, part 1. This video, we figured out where they came from. And that's it, man. Just apply it. See what works. Figure out what works. See how your body responds. And stay clean with it. Just get in the mindset of, I'm going to do this. I don't care that, I'm used to, let's say you're used to eating 3,500 calories a day. Let's say you're cutting, you're down to like 2,750, and you're just like, oh, this sucks. I just want to eat so much food right now. All my friends are going out to eat. All my buddies at school are eating Lucky Charms for lunch and pizza and chicken fingers and fries. You just got to be mentally tough and be like, no, I'm doing this. I set a goal for myself, and I'm going to, it's a reflection of your character. Setting your goal and going for it. And you'll be a boss in no time. Like a boss, all right? So there you go, man. Step 1. Step 2. You got it. All right, let me know, kid. Let me know. Peace.